screens glow, I'm fried off the light. Red candles bleeding, yeah, I'm feeling alive. Full port, no stop, let it ride, let it ride. If it nukes, I reload, I don't care, I'll survive. Margin maxed out, yeah, I'm flirting with death. They cry in the chat, say the market's a mess. Heartbeat singing with the tick on the chart. I'm laughing, reloading, tearing it apart. Levels, I'm stacking up levels. Bleed, then I flip it to gold. To gold. Levels, I don't got no schedule. Risk it all just to feel in control. Levels, I'm deep in the devil's green when the whole world fall. Levels, never stop, never settle. Shut the top, yeah, I love when it cracks. Fakers tweet, then they vanish like that. I'm knee deep in risk with a grin on my face. Turn panic to profit, I feast on collapse. Margin maxed out, yeah, I'm flirting with that. They cry in the chat, say the market's a mess. Heartbeat sing with the tick on the chart. I'm laughing, reloading, tearing it apart. Levels, I'm stacking up levels. Bleed, then I flip it to gold. To gold. Levels, I don't got no schedule. Risk it all just to feel in control. I'm deep in the devil's green when the whole world fall. Levels, never stop, never settle.
Oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Kohrs Show, where it's a beautiful Monday, April the 6th. Hey, folks, we're back at it again. Daniel, and this time, I would actually say that I was on time today. I did start the show before 9. It just so happens that we had a couple minutes of an amazing song from our producer, Chaos. So, folks, I'm feeling it today. I'm hoping we have some good opportunity. Whoa, what happened with the new... What happened to this thingy? How did I mess my hair up that bad? What the fuck? Whoa. I guess it's not. What did I do? I must have really scraped my hair with that. That was crazy, dude. That was crazy. I must have been a little bit too aggressive putting on the headphones this morning, but hey, I guess it's just going to be what it's going to be. If that's the biggest issue I have to handle today, I think we're doing pretty good overall. Well, folks, I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed Easter, Passover, just maybe enjoyed the extra day off on Friday. Maybe some of you have an extra extended break today. The market was closed on Friday, so a bit of a trading long extended weekend. Obviously, it's going to be fully open today. But whatever you got up to, I hope you got some rest, relaxation. I hope you had a good time, and I hope you're ready for the first full trading week in the month of April. And this one's going to be jam-packed. Of course, in this intro, I'm going to be breaking down everything you need to know. But basically, every single day this week, there's a major macroeconomic event. So we're going to be talking about all these data drops literally every single day of the week. On top of that, we just have the craziness of what in the world is happening with Iran and the US and basically globally. So that we're already going to get updates today. We got a lot of updates yesterday. That's the gift that I suppose keeps on giving. And when I say the gift that keeps on giving, of course, I mean, it's making me want to rip my hair out because it's borderline impossible to be a swing trader in this environment because you never know what the hell is actually going on. So I'm going to be breaking that all down. Couple little updates on individual equities. I want to cover that, but obviously right now, clearly the main story in the world of just, I guess, the markets is the overall market and what is happening with Iran and Trump. And we were kind of joking about it a little bit in the Discord this morning of this war is becoming the war of memes. And I'm going to kind of prove that point to you this morning before the market does open, that Trump says one thing that's in the realm, the league of memes. And then all of a sudden we get a clapback now from Iran with their own version of, I guess, memes and just internet dunking on each other. So as I've said many times before, and as I'm going to probably say many times into the future, our version of the simulation is crazy. I think the insanity on our version of the simulation somehow got turned up to 10. They broke it up to 11, snapped the knob, and the guy accidentally walked away, the alien running ours. And we are still just stuck here with just nothing but insanity. So I guess get all ready for that, because not only today, but really this week, it feels like every single day, it could be a giant green day. It could be a giant red day. It could be a giant chop day. We could full trip it. We could get upside gap fills, downside gap fills. Coming into this situation with a bias, I think, is extraordinarily dangerous. I think every day, this is probably good for most active trading days, but also very, very important for a time like this. Come in with your mind completely blank. If you are a day trader, a scalp trader, do not come in thinking, I have to be bullish, I have to be bearish. Do not come in with a bias. It is extraordinarily important that you take in the data and the price action as it is playing out. And obviously throughout the day, you have to be able to be agile enough, at least with your mentality of what's happening in trading, to handle it, because this stuff is switching so incredibly quickly that I guess I just want to give you that friendly neighborhood reminder. Do not come in with a bias. If you're bullish, okay, maybe 50-50. If you're bearish, yeah, okay, maybe 50-50. You know what's better than that? Coming in saying, I don't know, let's see which way we're trending. Let's identify the key levels. Let's wait for price to hit those key levels, and then pay attention to how the large traders, investors, and overall market makers react to said levels, and see if we could play the trend from there. So just want to put that out there, as we're not only starting the day, but the first full week of April, and really just, I guess, commenting on the chaos, because as I was prepping up today's show, and as you guys are all going to see here, it's wild. It's absolute. Hey, remember these nuts? Fuck. Well, I don't think there's any way for me to come back from that one. Chat's already, we're only 9 minutes into the week show, and I've already lost control of the chat. Remember these nuts? Jesus, man. Jesus. What did I do to deserve this? What did I do to deserve this? You know, man, like on the day of my daughter's wedding. On this day of all holy days. Anyway, let me do my job and get you guys a little prepped up for today's insanity. S&P 500 futures nudge higher on report Iran and US are trying for ceasefire. This is pretty crazy, because in the overnight session, you don't see it on the SPY, you don't see it on the Qs, but you do see it in the futures market. We had a pretty sizable gap down at market open. Remember, the futures market starts trading at 6 p.m. the night before. So the Monday session actually starts at 6 p.m. East Coast time. on Sunday. So we actually started off pretty weak, and then since then really started to get going at 20 o'clock, aka 8 p.m. Got a nice pop, pulled back, held itself, and then really actually got going up until about 5 a.m. this morning. We're chilling a little bit ever since then, but overall pretty decent recovery. Once again, you can see this in the futures market, but you're not really going to see it in equities. When I first looked at it, I was like, uh-oh, this is going to be really, really red. But obviously, as this article is referring to, optimism is at least coming in the world of equities, not so much in the world of oil. Oil still sitting at $111 per barrel. Remember, it was just at 65, so we almost have 100% increase, or roughly 80% increase in the past month and some change. So oil's not really buying this concept. And when I say buy, I mean like oil prices are not really reflecting this idea that, oh, we're closer to the end of this craziness than we are the start. Well, equities are kind of singing a different tune. Now, obviously, a logical question is who is right and who is wrong. And let me tell you this, folks, if I knew who was right and who was wrong, I wouldn't be doing this show. I'd be on a beach with a pina colada. So we're obviously going to have to try to wade through all this craziness together. Now, before I get into those specific details, I do like to still remind you my favorite way to engage in the market, whether it's long-term investing, short-term, trading, or even medium-term trading / investing. It's all data driven. And one of the easiest things we can all track day in and day out is seasonality. And I do want to remind you that yes, overall April is kind of a bullish month, at least on the past 20 years worth of data, but the start of it is a bit choppy. So yes, it is a bullish month on 20 years worth of information, the past 20 Aprils, but the first week is kind of choppy. And we've already had a couple trading days, so we're kind of like right in this jagged portion right here. Now, if we look at the last 5 years worth of information, April's actually a bearish month. Same thing on the last 3 years. But then if we look at the weekly, the week we're getting into is actually kind of noteworthy in how bearish it is. And same thing on the last 30 years, kind of noteworthy in how bearish it is. So we're about to get into kind of a choppy one, because if you look at a larger data set, it's dominated by the bulls. If you look at a more recent data set, it's dominated by the bears. So from there, the question is like, okay, like where, like, how should we weigh this one out? And my answer to you would be, for me, I'm actually kind of not taking seasonality into account, because whether it's the most bullish, the most bearish, or the most neutral week / month or ever, it's going to be this time around hyper dependent of what happens with Iran. So I care a lot more of, quote unquote, monitoring that situation. Trump's Iran ultimatum and signals of a possible deal keeps investors on their tenterhooks. So let me just kind of give you the information from Trump himself. So on Truth Social, he posted this April 5th, 8:03 in the morning. So basically 24 hours ago. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the effing straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. President Donald J. Trump. All right, so just to add a little bit of context here, what he's talking about is basically saying you have 48 hours to open the strait, or we're going to bomb a lot of your important infrastructure, and you're already super, super crippled, but you're going to be even more crippled. Okay, so that's important. And I know. This is going to spin up a lot of people on Rumble, because you're going to accuse me of having Trump derangement syndrome. But then to the other 95% of us that are just trying to live a sane life in this insane world, imagine if any other president tweeted "Praise be to Allah" on Easter Sunday. Imagine that. Imagine how the Republican MAGA base would react if President Biden on Easter Sunday said "Praise be to Allah." Like, think about what would be happening right now on Fox. I think we would have people going on to TV just unaliving themselves, saying we can't live in this world. We no way could we live in this world with the president saying "Praise be to Allah" on Easter. Like, think about how nuts the world would go. And then yet, here we are, where they're like, I still like Trump, so Trump is doing Trump things. And I get it. I get it. You could yell at me and say I have Trump derangement syndrome. If anything, I'm more of just like pointing out hypocrisy, and this is clearly a hypocritical point. And I kind of judge this general, I guess, time right now that if you think you are fully aligned or fully disaligned with any political party or political representative, I think you're just immature. I think you're stupid. I think people who are somewhat informed, or at least have somewhat of a room temperature IQ, they can at least point out, hey, like, I agree with this, I disagree with this. You could go down the list of things rather than be like, oh, I fully support, or no way do I not support it at all. I think Trump's done a lot of things that I do legitimately support, and I think he handled it well. And then there's things such as saying praise be to Allah on Easter, things such as creating your own meme coin that I'm just like, hey, what are you doing? But anyway, I get it. You guys are going to get all pissy because you think I'm like pissing in your Cheerios, but whatever. I don't really care. What's funny here is right after he put that out into the world, Iran embassy in UK, it is better to keep your mouth closed and let people think you are a fool than to open it and remove all doubt. So this war has gone from literal conflict to now, I guess, who can drop the best gotcha, who can drop the best meme. And I should let you know that even though they responded to that one, Trump quickly followed up on True Social Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I don't know if that's exactly the time that we're going to be bombing their infrastructure, or if he's going to be doing another chit chat, but obviously we're going to be finding out a little bit more tomorrow. Since then, that was all yesterday playing into this morning. We do have some important updates. Iranian embassy tweets, we've lost the keys after Trump's True Social post demanding they open the strait. I understand how insane it is that I just said that out loud. If you are simply listening to me and not watching the show, you might be thinking, did Matt lose his marbles? What did he just say happened? Well, I had to double check it for myself. And in fact, this is our version of reality. The Iranian embassy, in response to Trump demanding they open the strait, said, we've lost the keys. 62,000 likes, 4 million views. We have somehow transcended the concept of actual conflict and moved into the world of who can just dunk on the other one the better. Like, that's the current version of what's happening in our reality. How insane is that? Breaking, Iran Speaker of the Parliament responds to President Trump's statement this morning. This one was a little bit more serious, not as haha funny. Your reckless moves are dragging the U.S. into a living hell for every single family, and our whole region is going to burn because you insist on following Netanyahu's commands, the president of Israel. The only real solution is respecting the rights of the Iranian people and ending this dangerous game. So that was the response as of basically overnight, and then we got to this. Breaking, U.S. and Iran reportedly discussing a 45-day ceasefire. So this is kind of what popped up overnight that caused the equities market to go up. So just to give you some of the details, breaking, the U.S. and Iran and a group of regional mediators are discussing a potential, emphasis on potential, 45-day ceasefire that could lead to a permanent end to the Iran war. Details include, this is being described as a last-ditch effort to prevent massive strike on Iranian civilian infrastructure. Mediators are discussing the terms of the two-phase deal. The first phase would be a potential, once again, emphasis on potential, 45-day ceasefire during which a permanent end to the war would be negotiated. A U.S. official said Trump gave Iran several proposals in recent days, but so far Iranian officials have not accepted. A U.S. official said Trump gave, reading the same point over, my bad. The sources said the chance of reaching a partial deal over the next 48 hours are still slim, which is kind of bringing into light the importance of tomorrow when we might start slinging a few more missiles. So basically, be careful with any of the positions you are choosing to swing. So that was an update around 2 this morning, and then from there, according to a senior Iranian official, Tehran, obviously the representation of Iran, will accept will not accept deadlines or pressure to make a decision. Tehran will not reopen Strait of Hormuz in exchange for temporary ceasefire. Tehran believes that the United States lacks readiness for a permanent ceasefire. So fast forwarding about an hour, they're basically saying, nah, we're not buying what you are selling, which kind of brings us to the recent running toll of what Trump is doing. And I have to admit, this does not look good. As of March 22nd, open the strait in 48 hours. As of the 26th, open the strait in 5 days. As of the 27th, open it within 10 days. So 2 days to 5 days to 10 days. Then brings us to April 4th, open it in 48 hours. Open it by Tuesday. Open the effing strait by Tuesday. Okay, maybe by Wednesday. So he is continually moving back the goalposts, and that's most likely a strategy to claim victory whenever it happens. And I want to be clear, even though it's embarrassing that he's doing it this way, clearly we still have the strongest military in the world. Clearly, we have the capability, the resources, and the reach to basically remove this country from the globe. So in terms of the military might of the U.S., apparatus, the entire military apparatus, clearly we are second to none. I fully understand just one errant decision from Trump and this country could literally cease to exist. So obviously, this is kind of getting into the weird point of the negotiations between David and Goliath. And I think social media has it a little bit skewed of maybe the U.S. doesn't really have a shot here. No, once again, we could literally just erase this country. Obviously, that decision wouldn't live in a vacuum, and there would be secondary and tertiary things that have to be considered. But I still think it's funny to kind of point out this stuff to you of how the timeline has gone of just increase and increase and increase and increase and increase. So not the best look, at least at this moment in time. Trump's new deadline looms with mediators pushing for a truce. And actually right here, I thought this was a pretty good breakdown. Let me make sure the volume is on. Why does it not play?
Deadlines getting it a little bit difficult to keep up with. And what exactly do we know is going to happen when they ultimately expire?
Good morning. Your guess is as good as mine. Sure, the deadlines are off delayed, but there is an escalation or a change in tone and language. You noted the very salty posts by the US president, most recently reiterating, but in unusually graphic terms, his threat to the Iranians to effectively lay waste to the country. He's made similar statements in multiple media interviews in the interim. Many of your viewers will be aware of the term deal heat from the world of business. That is when one side of a negotiation is so keen to close the deal, they might actually be rushing into a bad deal. I wonder if this delaying of deadlines and the increasingly heated language from the White House might be suggesting a deal heat on the part of the United States. The Iranians certainly don't seem to be under any pressure. They're pushing this off. They're sticking to their demand for full reparations, they say, for the war and a full exit of U.S. forces before they consider unshackling the Strait of Hormuz, which they've effectively taken over. So time will tell. We're now waiting for that latest deadline, which you cited. The war continues. Certainly when it comes to what the Israelis are saying, they're not especially optimistic. There'll be a deal, and they see every day as potentially one in which to gain further achievements against their archenemy Iran.
Kasia, what do we hear out of Washington, D.C.? I mean, the president's post yesterday seemed, frankly, a little bit unhinged. Are senators and Congress people worried about the president here? He's using increasingly religious language as well.
Matt, look, here in Washington, we are pretty used to all of this. We are used to President Trump setting new deadlines and issuing threats, but you're absolutely right. Over the weekend, Trump increasingly focused on this graphic language, threatening Iran with bringing hell and blowing everything. What he wants is for Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz. He's very concerned about raising oil and gasoline and jet fuel prices, and he knows he has to address it. So we will hear more from President Trump today. He will speak at 1 p.m. He will give a press conference here at the White House.
I mean, he said before that he doesn't care if they open the Strait of Hormuz. And he doesn't need anyone's help, also that he needs everyone's help. He's used, I believe, the F word for the first time in a post.
He got pissed.
And
he got pissed about that.
I haven't heard previously the God is great or any kind of praise to Allah language in his tweets. Seems increasingly desperate. What are we expecting to hear from him at 1 o'clock?
That's a fair question.
I agree. It does seem increasingly desperate. Trump also previously have told Americans that it's worth to pay perhaps a little bit more at the pump to suffer this short-term pain for the long-term gain for Iran not having nuclear weapons. I do expect him to focus on this theme again today to kind of talk about what is the goal, the long-term goal of this war, which is also something he has struggled to communicate. And he is facing increased criticism. Obviously, Democrats use the weekend shows to go up and criticize what looks like lack of strategy, urging President Trump to tone down the rhetoric and seek a solution. But again, we'll see at 1 p.m. whether he will do anything like this. I think this 1 p.m. press conference will focus more on President Trump praising U.S. military. He really wants to come back to this victory rhetoric. He wants to praise the operation over the weekend, which led to rescue of U.S. airmen from inside Iran after U.S. jet crashed down there. There was a 2-day rescue operation that resulted in bringing this airman back. And Trump has already said that even as he's wounded, he will completely recover.
Dan, what do we expect in terms of military action? I mean, you're reporting from Israel, where Benjamin Netanyahu has grown used to being accused of war crimes. A lot of people are saying that if the U.S. were to attack power plants or desalination plants, that could also be considered a war crime. Does that matter? Will it happen anyway?
I think behind the scenes, the Israelis and the Americans are concerned that should this threat be carried out, it might risk alienating the very population that both Trump and the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu said at the outset they would like to see take over Iran after, as they put it, the regime would be demolished or degraded sufficiently to be toppled. So aside from the legal issue which you cited, I think there's a practical concern here in terms of the long-term, long-range ramifications of such attacks. For now, the Israelis are pursuing classic military targets, as they would call it, saying that overnight, for example, they killed the chief of intelligence for the Revolutionary Guards Corps.
He didn't survive
a significant achievement, albeit someone who had apparently not been in office that long, given the succession of senior chiefs being killed and replaced in Iran. So the Israelis, for now, in terms of their public statements, will continue focusing on senior personnel, on nuclear targets in Iran, ballistic missile targets, and other military targets. They've indicated in the past an ability to hit energy targets. However, that has been one-off attacks, and it will remain to be seen. As usual, Trump, I think, calls the shots in this war, including when it comes to changing target sets. I'm not sure the Israelis would relish entering into that fray in terms of civilian targets, but time will tell if even the Americans will do that.
All right, we have about 2 minutes to go, so let me quickly go through this. The most recent update. Israel says it hit key Iranian energy site as U.S. mediators push for a ceasefire. Once again, Trump is speaking at 1 p.m. Eastern today, so please be paying attention to that. Of course, this has massive impacts on oil. Oil shock is adding stress to the global economy. Makes sense as oil goes up, the production of pretty much everything goes up, which is going to cause inflation. And then right now, when a lot of global economies are facing kind of labor market issues, softer labor markets, putting those two things together gets very quickly into the world of stagflation, so hopefully something we do not have to deal with, but obviously time will tell. Warsh nomination moves ahead, putting Trump's competing Fed plans on a collision course. I still don't understand this nomination at all. Warsh is one of the most hawkish Fed governors of all time, and the fact that Trump wants Fed rates lower and he selected a person who will really not want to do it blows my mind, but maybe more there. And then also the Oracle of Omaha Buffett may end donation to the Gates charity over Bill's ties to Epstein. So at least someone in this world is attempting to do something about the Epstein files. Unfortunately, it's just a retired billionaire and no one in an elected political office. As I said before, there are a lot of major macroeconomic events throughout the week. Please pay attention at 10 a.m. today, ISM non-manufacturing. Tomorrow, durable goods. Friday, FOMC meeting minutes, not an FOMC meeting. Thursday, inflation and GDP. And then Friday, inflation and consumer sentiment. We're not really in earnings season, but you might care about Delta. That is on Wednesday of this week. If you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter, mattkohrs.locals.com. My mod will put it in chat, but it is free. So just a good market trading resource. And on that particular note, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all, play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right. So I just put it into YouTube chat because they don't have polls quite yet on Rumble, but I'm told they're getting there. Please vote. Bullish, bearish on the day. Which one are you? I can see some of the initial numbers, but I don't want to spoil it on anyone. So please, before we're going to end the poll at 9:33. So you guys have 2 minutes left, 3 minutes left to cast your vote on the day. Do you think we're going to stay green, or do you think we're going to revert some of these, I guess, Friday or Thursday night to Monday morning gains? So please let me know. With respect to key levels, I just want to show you the overall situation in the S&P 500. We've been selling pretty hard. We almost got into correction territory, which is a 10% dip from the all-time high. And then ever since then, we are slowly but surely climbing up, trying to break out from this technical psychological level at 6,600. From there, I would be looking at 6,650. And then I do want to let you know there is still an upside gap fill in play at 6,710. It is low from Tuesday, March the 17th. You should be marking that on your chart. Very, very important, especially because it also aligns with the 50 period, the 50-day EMA, the exponential moving average. So obviously we have some key levels to take out before we get there, but from a daily perspective, that's what I'm looking at. And then speaking of the daily perspective, or the intraday perspective, I should better say, these are all the key levels. As I always do, I mark out the previous high, low, and close. That is the green horizontal, the red horizontal, and the white horizontal. That is the previous high, low, and close. Why do I mark them out? Well, it just tends that for the next trading session, you tend to have a lot of reactions at those key technical, psychological, and they end up becoming gamma levels. The white box is just the transition zone, thought to be bullish above, bearish below, and choppy within from the perspective of market makers. And then the final thing on the screen are these yellow horizontal lines, which are just where we see the big money position. We see all this positive gamma. We see all this negative gamma. We see the positive gamma really comes into full force above 6630 today. We have a bit of negative gamma beneath. So just marking out all the key levels of where we see big money positioned at, because it's not such a surprise to imagine that there's going to be a clear market reaction to all of those key levels. So that's the final major thing on the screen. Obviously, as of right now, I have no live position. I have some swing positions on, but intraday, as of this moment, I am flat. I have my funded FFN accounts. I have my funded Legend accounts. This is day one of these. And then I still have my Tradeify evals. I did pass those take profit traders, but they have a rule where you can only have 10 pro accounts every 30 days or every month. So even though they're passed, I can't trade them as pro until I think like the 14th. So I still have the TPT accounts. I just can't trade them. I still have the Apex accounts. I can't trade them. And I still have the Lucid accounts, but I can't trade them. So those aren't shown here. I still have Lucid. I still have Apex. I still have TPT. They're just not shown because I can't trade them. So I didn't want to accidentally trade them and mess something up. So the only ones on the screen right now are ones I can trade. The first 5 are funded. The second 5 are funded. That's the same account. And then the bottom 5, these Tradeify, are all just the evals. So just want to be transparent about where I'm at with everything like that, just so you guys know. And actually, on that note, with market open, 2 big things to say. Well, first of all, I'm going to show you the options flow just out of the gate, because I know a lot of you are interested in that. There's the S&P 500, thus far looking pretty good. Here's the Mag 7, thus far looking pretty good. Big news. So I use Spot Gamma. That's the tool suite on the screen right now. The flow, you can see where all the big money is positioned. This is by far like second to none, the best options analytics tool. They are going to be doing a free webinar, a free teaching webinar, April the 9th, April the 9th. Thursday? This Thursday at 1 p.m. It is free. So that's in the description of the video. My mod will put it in chat. They are rolling out a whole new set of tools and they are kind of breaking it down. But once again, this is a free FREE. It is a free webinar for everyone. So if you are at all in the slightest interested in this type of analysis, like true, the best options analysis, in my humble opinion, check it out. First name, email, save my spot. It's going to be 1 p.m. this Thursday. And then also, maybe you guys missed it, but there was a big kind of a cool drop. I don't know how many of you guys played CSGO with the crates and stuff, but Lucid Trading kind of taking a piece of marketing from the world of, I guess, video games, and they are now getting into the world of cases. And I just saw this literally this morning, so I wanted to share it with all of you. So I guess if you're a Lucid member, you can log in. This is from the CEO, and now they're doing cases, which I think is kind of cool. Warning, cortisol spike detected. Dopamine. Lucid cases have landed. Stop watching this video and go see what's in yours. So when I saw that, I was going to open mine, but then I was like, you know what? That's inappropriate. I want to do it with my stream. So here's mine. I have no idea what's in this. I on Twitter was scrolling here, there, and everywhere, and I saw a lot of people making a lot of jokes of like, I don't know, feet pictures and back massages. Obviously just making jokes with the CEO. He's a pretty funny dude. But I didn't want to open mine. I wanted to do it with all of you to see what's in it. It seems like it's kind of randomized. Obviously there are, hey, do you want to see it too? Piper, do you want to see this? All right, we're going to roll it. Piper, are you watching? Please pay attention. Hey, oh no, over here. No, it's on the screen. Right here. Ready? 3, 2, 1. All right. Piper, look, it's scanning your retina. Piper, look. Piper. Doesn't care. Piper, what is it? All right, we got a 40% off applied on Pro and Flex accounts, Objective Complete, Aura Farm. You did that. You did that. Congrats. She doesn't care about it. A free note. So there we go. I guess it loads in there. Auto applied. Cool. I am seeing a couple different ones here, there, and everywhere. So shout out to Lucid. They are the partner of today's show. So it is pinned to the top of chat. It is in the description of the video. Use that code Goonie and you're going to get whatever the best discounts are. But for those of you who are already existing users, you might have a couple cases to open. I'm excited to see where they go with it. It's kind of a new concept in the world of, I guess, prop trading. I think it's kind of cool. So just wanted to share that with all of you. All right, so where are we at thus far? Mag 7 did pop, gave it back. S&P 500 did pop, gave it back. All right, market did pop, gave it back. We're right at the closing value. This is the green to red test. The white horizontal line, once again, is the closing value of the previous session. And it looks like we just got the downside gap fill on the NASDAQ. So they might have just wanted to clean up the chart a little bit there. There was a downside gap fill on the NASDAQ 100, but not the S&P 500. So if you played on the NASDAQ, obviously, congrats to you. Congrats to you. All right, let me make sure. Like I said, I haven't done much yet. I'm just sitting there. Let me make sure my copier is on. My copier is on. What am I? I'm maxed out. I'm trying to think of all my consistency rules. I cannot. So in the event that I have a good trading day, which hopefully I do, I don't know if I will or I won't, I cannot exceed 3,000 on FFN. I cannot exceed 3,500 on Legends, and I can't exceed 3,600 on Tradeify. And once again, you can. It's not like you lose your accounts if you somehow don't follow that rule. It just might make it more difficult on you in the future because you're kind of ballooning the pot, if you will. So I know conceptually that sounds a little bit weird of like, what do you mean you can't make more than that? Well, you can. Once you're not going to be losing anything. You're just going to it kind of then in the future demands a better performance from you. If that makes sense. And I'm more than happy to try to explain that in better detail if that doesn't make sense. But some of these, like you have a 40% consistency or something like that, which means no individual trading day can be more than 40% of your total profit. So if you have one day that you do really, really well, that means you have to do well, very well the other days. So it only ends up being 40%. So because of that, I do cap myself at certain levels. And honestly, I don't mind it. I really, really don't, because I find it helps me step away. Maybe some days if I'm like over trading or maybe doing a little bit too much, I find that if I hit my levels, it's a sense of like, oh, that task for the day is being like, it's accomplished, it's done, rather than like, oh, is there more? Is there more? Is there more? Is there more? I kind of do like it sometimes where I'm like, cool, I hit it, time to move on with my life. And whatever, go to the gym, go for a walk, go cook a sandwich, I don't know, something like that. Okay, cool beans. Well, I'm still waiting. It's 9:40. We're 10 minutes in, so we have the 10-minute Orbo on the screen right now. The red dashed lines are the current intraday session high and low. The blue dashed line is the 50% level in between the current high and low. The solid lines, the red, the white, and the teal are just EMAs, the 10, the 20, and the 50. The white dashed line is the VWAP from 6 p.m. the night before the session, and then the orange dash line is the VWAP from market open for regular trading hours at 9:30 a.m. So two different VWAPs, two different extremes, a 50% retracement, and then just a general idea of what is momentum. And the first thing that I'm watching today is right here, the 50% line with session VWAP, the 9:30 session VWAP. Is it going to get rejected here? Is it going to be a double top situation where it gets smacked and then we puke down all the way to VWAP at 235? Or is this going to be like Thursday where I took the short here and it broke and I kept holding, when in reality I should have gone bullish? So this, to me, is looking a lot like last Thursday. I'm going to give it a second here. We're at the psychological level of 300. We're at the IB. We're at VWAP. Giving it a second. Giving it uno momento, mi amigos. Uno momento, por favor. We're just vibing it out. We're just vibing it out. And we're dialing it in. Do I like this? I do.
Order filled.
I do. I took the long. It was a little chasey. It's a little chasey. I took the long. I'm thinking it might hold VWAP. And why am I thinking that? And this is very biased of me. This is what happened to me on Tuesday. Or excuse me, I keep fucking up the day of the week. This is what happened to me last trading session, aka Thursday. It popped. It failed. I tried to go short at equilibrium and I thought it was going to puke, and it didn't. It went and went and went and went. So instead of making that stupid mistake that I made last week, like literally last trading session, your boy's improving. I'm like the fucking Terminator, brother. I am the modern day LLM. I learn from my mistakes. I improve going forward. That's what you're looking at, the AI LLM Terminator of modern day degenerate day trading. That's what you're seeing. I do wish my fill was right here. I like to be protected by key levels at 300, so I would have preferred that my fill was below 300 instead of 321. But who knows? Maybe if we break above the intraday high at 75, I won't care about it anyway. But sometimes I do like to be a little bit more patient or maybe strategic with my entries, or I'm using certain levels to protect myself. Right here, my fill at 321.50, it is above VWAP. It is above 50%. It is above 300. So none of that stuff is going to be protecting me in case there's a dip. Dip buyers might step in there. So I have to kind of take on the risk of, will they buy there? Won't they buy there? The whole will they, won't they type of a thing. I do very much wish I kind of got in. I don't know if I could have ever really gotten a fill below 300 just because that was sketchy. I probably could have had a fill at 305, 306, and I would have been protected here. So off by about 15 points, which for an opening session, that's not too bad. Intraday, that's pretty brutal to be off by 15 points. But with the hecticness of the market right now, I mean, someone across the globe could sneeze and we might go 45 points, no less 15. So I'm going to be looking for this breakout of 50. On the breakout of 50, I'm moving my stop to break even. Speaking of my stop, I should probably get it somewhere. What is this low? All right. Right.
Order submitted.
This is another issue that I had last trading session on Thursday, was even though I mentally had to stop, by the time the price got there, I didn't have the discipline to stick to it. So once again, just trying to improve on the dumb shit that I was doing last week and seeing right here, okay, we're at a free trade. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. All I can tell you is your boy ain't losing no money. Your boy ain't losing a penny. Well, I might from commissions, but you guys get the general vibe. My worst case situation is nothing. It's nada. So I'm going fishing. Your boy's a fisherman. I don't know why I'm speaking in New York accent when I should be speaking to you in, I guess, an accent from Montana or something, because we're fishing right now. We're on the lake. We're in the river. We're on the ocean, dude. We're going for that great white. Maybe it catches today. Maybe it doesn't. I have no fucking clue because I'm not clairvoyant, folks. I can't tell you the future. I don't even know what I'm having for lunch today. And you think I know where the market's going today? No. The name of the game is just, can I identify reasonable risk to reward? That's what I'm attempting to do. That's the real goal right here, is just, can I identify a good risk reward setup? It wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst. I would say it was like a B- setup. I took it. It worked. Stops at break even. I don't give a hoot. Dare I say it? I don't even give two hoots at this point. It's a Monday. We're fishing. We fish on Mondays. If you're in the Goonie community, it's basically just a fancy way to say you like going fishing. You know, Gary says go fish. I'm out of sevens, brother. I'm out of sevens. Matt, you once interviewed someone that told you if you want to go mental, use a mental stop. I don't recall that, but I kind of like it. I might steal that saying. If you want to go mental, use a mental stop. That's actually really funny. All right, I'm hoping 50 can hold. We overshot this. Could be a little bit of a fake out. Unfortunately, my fill wasn't good enough to get it below this low, so I might just arbitrarily get taken out. But we're going to give it a second to breathe. This is what the game of fishing is. I don't think... Actually, the Legends, they might have unrealized drawdown. I know TPT does. I don't think Tradeify does on the eval stage. I don't know. Folks, like I said, we're fishing. Change the IB midline to from dark blue. Okay, you're saying this is hard to see. I'm getting a complaint that this is hard to see. What if I... Is that better? Right there? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you guys like this light? Fuck. Brother? Why did it just switch back? Hang on. Everyone fucking calm down. No one should be freaking out right now. But that's pretty similar to this one. Do I need to switch that? No, hang on. It's always tough. You always want to get the colors right. Hang on. Everyone calm down. I'm not freaking out. You're freaking out. I'm not freaking out. What colors do we want? A nice charcuterie green. Olive, that's not going to look solid. What about like a magenta? I don't think magenta would have a conflict with anything. That might pop. Magenta? Thumbs up, thumbs down on magenta. Thumbs up, thumbs down on magenta. Does it speak to you? Not only can you see it well, but I would say metaphysically. Do you think this is the right color for us in our community? Think about this, because this could be a lasting decision. Folks, this is a true democracy right here. I am putting the power in the hands of the people. You could forever be changing how this show runs. The first thing I read is horrible. Fucking horrible. So mean. It's like, no way. In fact, if you don't change it, I'm leaving. I'm never coming back. Magenta is the color of affluence. That's what we're looking for here. We're trying to build some affluence. All right, if you guys don't cut it out, we're going from a democracy back to a pure dictatorship. If you guys just don't, I get that we're all excited. It was a long weekend. A lot of trading opportunity today. You never know what's happening or not happening. A lighter color? You guys really can't see that? You guys want it yellow? I feel like these should be yellow. Because like red kind of has a negative connotation in the world of trading. I feel like upper range, high line. I feel like these, where is yellow? Yellow. These maybe make more sense to be yellow. I don't know if I like this orange anymore. Hang on. Now we're fucking up everything. If this does not go well, I just want to make it well known that this is all your fault. I need an orange that pops more. Where's a good orange? That's red. Tomato? Tomato? I barely even know her. Yeah. We're getting into a weird territory at this point, folks. We have tomato, we have magenta, we have yellow. Dude, we might as well just take off the entire week at this point. This is not going the way we need it to. This is not we started off with potential. I'll be honest. Today's show, we started with potential. I only fucked up maybe 1 in 4 words instead of my normal 1 in 3 words. I didn't yell at anyone yet. I feel like we came in strong, and then somehow the show devolved into the point that I have tomato orange / red now on the screen, and that can't be a good sign. I think actually these new colors are frying my brain. It's like putting 5G and Wi-Fi together, and it's just completely fucking nuking my brain right now. And someone's saying that there's a fair value gap on the chart. Jesus. No, not today. Any day but today. A fair value gap? On April 6th? Fuck. I think Meksha is gay. I've never seen his wife. Matt's gay. Ever wonder why we haven't seen his wife? No, she just goes to a different school. She's Canadian, folks. She's real. Seriously, you need to believe me. She's real. She's real. Just say it. Agree that my wife is real. I don't understand you guys. Yeah, why can't we all just admit that my wife is 100% real? It's not that big of a deal, Just admit it. All right, whatever. My stop's at break even. I'm finally below VWAP, but it's real close to that 50%. But at least I'm on the south side of it now. It would have been a lot better if I got that fill at 305. Not only would I have had 15 more points, aka $300 more, but I would have just been protected a bit better. We are at 400, obviously a key psychological level.
Let me do a little bit of a breakdown for y'all. 5-minute bullish, 10-minute bullish, 30-minute bullish, 4-hour bullish. NQ, 5-minute bullish, 10-minute bullish, 30-minute bullish, 4-hour bullish. We just broke the pre-market high at 400. So it might get rejected here. We got to watch because we hit this high at 5 in the morning. The market loves to evaluate those levels. So pay close attention. Not only is it the psychological level of the $100 rung, but it is also the 5 a.m. high. So that's pretty important. And guess what? We also happen to be at 600 on SPX. So across the board, whether you're looking at the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, or just my mental sanity, across the board, we are at key levels, and it's time to find out if we're going to get rejected or not. I don't know if we will or won't. I could tell you the Mag 7 popped, dropped. It's trying to recover. The S&P 500 popped, dropped, recovered even stronger, took a little bit of a hit, really got going, and kind of ended up double topping. I don't know. We're at a key level. This is all you can do as a trader. Please listen to me. When you come to a key level, 6,600, when you come to a key level, 24,400, there is no model on God's green earth that can definitively tell you if you're going to break out or get rejected. Fake out, breakout, fake out, breakdown. You don't know. There's all these possibilities. And for anyone who's trying to tell you, oh, I know what's going to happen, they are full of it. Basically, you have a 50-50 opportunity. You come up to a key level, 50% chance of a breakout, 50% chance of a breakdown. So what can you do there? Well, basically, you identify where the key levels are, and you have to ask yourself, are you in a position or not? If you're in a position, well, pay attention to see if it breaks in your way. If it seems as if it's getting reverted, well, maybe it's time to lock in or adjust your stop. If you're not in a position, well, maybe that's the new trend that you should be playing off of because the market is telling you something as you're leaving that point of equilibrium. Very, very important. I hear it all of the time that this person, that person, everyone has a model that tells you what's going to happen at support or resistance. No one knows. The entire idea of these key levels, aka points of equilibrium, whether it's a technical level, psychological level, or a key gamma level in the options market, you just have to watch. Don't try to predict. You should be attempting to react to whatever the new trend is. I think once you wire your brain that way, you're going to be far, far better off. Far, far better off. A nice pop or a little bit of a pullback. And here I am just hoping that the pullback isn't that much, but we'll find out. We'll find out. I guess I can move mine up. I'm stop at break even. The reason I can be a little bit more calm with this is because the worst case scenario is I lose like $3. But remember, my max on these accounts is 3. Here it's 3.5. Here it's 3.6. I do not want to exceed those levels today, just because of consistency. All right. What is this one? I'm just looking at any of the major updates. Not seeing too much right there. But we're looking good. We're up 1.4K across. I'm trading 15 accounts right now. 10 are funded, 5 are eval. 10 are funded, 5 are eval. And that's a pretty good gain, right? That's $20,000 thus far, but it's also unrealized. I have no realized P&L. That's just from commissions. Hey, kitty cat, can you tell them that my wife is real? Can you tell them that your mom's real? She doesn't want to talk to you guys. She's offended that you would think my wife is not real. What is a 200-point swing on NQ? $4,000. So every point on NQ is $20. So a 200-point swing would be $4,000. Isn't that right? This is my lead chief investment officer. $20,000 simulated environment eval accounts are once again funded. I'm literally showing you proof that 10 of my 15 are funded, as in going for real money. I don't understand this idea of people thinking that like they're dunking on me. I'm not hiding it. I'm showing you right now. 10 of 15 are funded. I'm trading more funded accounts than I am evals. And in fact, I'm frozen out of 5 more Lucids, 5 more take profits, and 20 Apex, because I've all done so well on those funded accounts that I'm either waiting for a payout or I'm moving to live. So this idea of like, no, they're just, they're funded. They're not. You're stupid. Fever is saying, I'm not dunking. We all know you're not because you're wrong. You're stupid. Seriously, here's your comment. Just so the whole community knows. $20,000 on simulated environment eval accounts. What are you talking about? Funded. What are you talking about? No, I am not stupid. Yeah, you're actually retarded. Like, I am presenting to you undeniable evidence. Like, here is your I'm observing. Well, if that's your ability to observe, you're actually retarded. You are a stupid individual who I pray is not actually trading because you do not have the intellectual aptitude to be able to handle the gauntlet that is trading. You cannot discern a basic data point of reality. You're screaming that they're evals because you wish they were evals because you've never had success in trading yourself. And I get it. Trading is hard. But if you want to be better at it, maybe people like me who are willing to teach you, don't piss us off. Maybe say, hey, man, you seem to have had some success. Like, what's going on? Like, how do you view the market? What's your mental trading framework? What are the key indicators or data points or your overall methodology? So maybe instead of being like a bitchy little drama-ridden middle school girl of complaining that no one can have success because you don't have success, maybe be a more reasonable adult and say, okay, like I'm having a rough time. This guy, let me see evidence. And I don't even blame you for asking for evidence. Like we all should be asking for evidence. Now he's going back. I'm not saying that at all. Dude, your comment is right here. We can all read it. It's still up. $20,000 simulated environment eval account. Once again, that is wrong. So you were saying that because you're a stupid person. And now you're trying to walk it back because like I showed you the undeniable evidence of it. People are all watching this live. We've all read your comment and then we can see this all live. You're just a dumb person. What is this? This actually might just be the 10 a.m. stuff. I don't even think this is news. I think this is the classic 10 a.m. craziness. I hope it's not a 10 a.m. reversal, but I'm trying to be mindful of that. Obviously, I'm trying to ride this all the way up. Ideally to 500 is kind of where I'm looking. I might not be able to get there though. But if this starts to break down, I'll just take whatever profits I possibly can. What is the red, white, and orange and blue? No one even knows. And it's tomato. It's not orange. Piper, stop knocking stuff off my desk. Get it right. It's tomato. Matt, would you recommend Apex as the first copy trader account to link? No, the copy trader I use is called Replicanto. In my opinion, Replicanto is the best one. I've tried the Apex Trade copier one. I had more issues with it than I thought was necessary, so I just moved on. And thus far, knock on wood, I haven't had any issues with Replicanto. Well, I guess when I have issues, it's just for me not toggling on the proper accounts. That's the one that I use for my trade copier. I don't use the Apex Trade copier. There was a weird update to Ninja. This was a while ago, like actually maybe September, October of last year, that ever since that new Ninja version came out, Apex Trade Copier had a tough issue or a tough time with it. Maybe since then they fixed it. That's possible. But in that short period of time, I had to try out new ones, and other people were suggesting Replicanto, so I just gave it a shot, and I've never really looked back because thus far I've liked it. What I don't like is what's happening right here. I need a bounce like now. Like right off of 50. I don't want to give this all back. It sucks that this happened so quickly. This pop and drop all happened sub 1 minute. This was about like a 10-second thing. So as much as you might be looking at it and like, Matt, why didn't you get out at the best value of the day? Well, obviously I wish I did, but you can just rewind the stream and realize this was like a 10-second thing. I'm hoping this is the higher low right here. Once again, the 50% retracement, and then the session VWAP. So I'm trying to use this as my protection. I'm trying to use this as my support. Obviously, if it breaks down, let me just move it up a little bit here. So I'm at least going to cover my commissions on the day. I'm hoping it holds here. If it does, it does. If it doesn't. So I'm stupid for trading my own money with my own risk management, calling out people's stupid. Yep, you're dumb. You are a dumb individual. Anyone with a functioning brainstem would know that if you are good at trading, why would you not want to not only trade your own capital to take advantages of that world, but then also take advantage of the capital leverage in the world of prop trading? That's why, guess what? I trade my own account and I trade this, because that's what good traders would do. It's you're not a superior person for thinking that, oh, I'm better because I just trade my own capital. First of all, we all know you don't make money trading your own capital. You are a net losing trader, which, I mean, I still don't, it blows my mind you're behaving the way you are. The fact that you're losing money and you're still trying to be pissy about it. You would think that you'd want to be a little bit more interested in learning, but hey, that's my own prerogative. But no, this is very specific to the world of day trading. Obviously, you can't swing trade in the world of prop trading, but why would you not do both? If you are legitimately a good trader, wouldn't you trade your own capital and then leverage that more with the capital that prop firms would give you? Does that not logically make the most sense? Fever, just everyone in chat knows you're stupid. You're trying to be pissy about it. And you're like, you're trying to prove a point here. And you're just too stupid to realize that you're dumb, which is probably the worst type of stupid. I mean, I suppose there's the argument of like ignorance is bliss and you just don't know how dumb you are, but it is. Jealousy is alive and well in 2026. I fully agree. I mean, we literally have a person in here complaining about someone else's success, saying it can't be true, even though I'm the only person to live stream the entire thing. It would be really, really easy to call me out if I was somehow faking all of this, but yet no one has, because it's all been live streamed. It's all been real. And instead of saying, okay, like how someone pulled it out, you have other people who just, they suck at trading. So because they suck at it, they assume that everyone else must suck at it. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at. It's just, what's the saying? That you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make a retarded person say something smart. I'm not calling you out. I don't give a fuck. It seems like you care quite a bit. You're basically having a fucking mental breakdown in chat, spazzing out. It's all right, dude. I feel for you. You're having a tough time because you suck at trading. You're losing your money. You're not able to get the traction you want. We've all been there. Like, I do legitimately feel bad for you, but just like as a person who's attempting to function in this world, you can probably better get the results and the assistance from people you want by not being such a douchebag. Like, I get it. Trading is tough. I'm just saying, I'm not really bagging on you for sucking at trading. I'm bagging on you for behaving in such a crazy way that you wouldn't want to learn from someone, or behave in a way that would try to get someone to like be willing to teach you something. You just say dumb shit. I'm having Nokia calls, brew. I hope this isn't too personal, but like, did your mom drink when she was pregnant with you? Like, I'm not going to judge it, but like, was there perhaps a fall when you were an infant? Like a little too much Tylenol? Did your mom have a high fever? I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here, because this is fascinating. In the face of undeniable evidence, you're still just being stupid. It was crack. That'll do it. That'll do it. All right. Thus far, a little bit of a break-even trade for me. I'm, I guess, 0.5 for one on the day. There was this 10 a.m. pop that was from the non-ISM or the ISM non-manufacturing PMI and prices. Quick pop, gave it back, did not hold the IB, did not hold the VWAP, and now we're looking for the other VWAP, and then we're actually not that far away from the intraday low. But once again, we're at 300. This is where I wish I had my fill originally. In all reality, even if I got that fill, I would have just been knocked out 30 seconds later anyway. So it wouldn't have changed anything on that particular trade for me, but just from the point of higher quality trading, that would have been a better entry. But obviously, I guess on that particular effort, it was almost seemingly bound to not work anyway. Seemingly not going to work anyway. So I was hoping here, we got as low as 71. I was hoping it would hit 62 or maybe even 50. I was really thinking about buying there. Let me just double check some of this stuff that's happening. So S&P 500 popped all the way up until 10, took a hit. Now it's recovering. Mag 7 took a pop and barely recovering right now. Barely. NASDAQ, similar situation. A little bit of an overshoot there. We're coming back to 600. These are tough areas to get a nice, just like clear move away from. They can get really, really choppy. Just you have a lot of people reacting to these levels. Hence exactly what we're seeing right now. We even hit the 80 there. We went from 80 to 600 back to 82. Patience, 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 patience. If only we had thousands of hours of video to provide this. Yeah, I'm the only person I know of on God's green earth who streamed streamed the entire process over 73 trading days of making $1 million. First person to do it. Maybe someone will be able to do it after me. I have no idea. And if they can, hey, kudos to them. It's a tough task, obviously, going through it myself. But it's so funny that like the evidence is up there. It's up there for everyone to watch and consume from October to February, 73 trading days over the course of how many ever months, half of October, November, December, January, about 3.5 to 4 months. Like I said, 73 trading sessions. First person ever to stream the entire event, making $1 million. And then yet you have someone in here and saying, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But hey, I mean, I guess that's just the state of the world. What is this? 86. Ooh, kind of a large. I don't know.
Order filled.
All right, we're taking a stab. The setup's the exact same setup of will it actually break above VWAP? If this is a rejection, I'm obviously just going to cut it quickly. I don't even think I would let it touch this VWAP. I actually might cut it earlier, and then if it does dip, buy it again there. But basically looking at a very, very similar setup to before. We popped all the way up to 450. And then due to the ISM numbers, we had a little bit of an unwinding, got pretty close to VWAP. I see this higher low here comparing 1006 to 1011. Higher low, so bulls are getting a little bit more aggressive. And now we're back at this point of equilibrium. I want to see this break through. And if it does, great. I get to ride it up to 450. And by the time we get to 375, I'll move my stop to break even. So that's where it'd be a freebie play. Right now, my risk is probably closer to like 95 or something in here. Like I said, I don't even think I would let this one go all the way back to VWAP because if this starts to break down, the chance of us coming there is pretty decent. And I'd like to buy there if I see buyers step in. If they don't, okay, well, then it's a breakdown, and then I didn't have the position anyway. Any word from Apex yet? Nope, still waiting. Haven't seen Matt in years. Shout out, Kelly. France coaching. Hope all is well. Thus far today, I've had one trade. It was a break-even trade, basically just paid for commissions, a little bit of, I guess, slippage on it. It was a runner that just didn't run to the level I wanted it to, but obviously with risk management in mind, I just moved the stop to break even and the stop got hit. But that's going to happen. It happens on about 1/3 of my trades, maybe even a little bit more. Yeah, probably a little bit more. Maybe 40% of my trades, I get stopped out for break even. It's just part of the game. For Apex, this is the worst case scenario. If there's a discrepancy in the trades, if there is that denied. What do you mean a discrepancy? I mean, I just had 15 accounts that were all copy traded together. They all did the same thing. Of course, there's a little slippage in between the accounts, but I don't think that's like the discrepancy you are referring to. When you have a copy trader such as Replicanto, yeah, you're going to be off a little bit here and there. You're not always going to get the exact same fills because there's such thing as liquidity. So it's never going to be the exact same, but I never did anything different with them. It wasn't like some of the accounts I'm doing this, some of the accounts I'm doing that. No, nothing like that at all. They were all traded together. Matt, what trading platform is this? What you see here is Ninja. That's probably the most popular platform for people in the world to sim to funded trading, as in trading with someone else's capital. For my charting, I use TradingView. For my options analytics, I use Spot Gamma, which, by the way, S&P 500 is breaking out. It recaptured 600, watch 610, and then watch the intraday high at 618. NQ recapturing the 1 minute cloud. Watch the 400 level, key technical psychological level. It's also the overnight high. So 400 has a lot going on there. If we can break, and this is a big if, but if we can break and hold above 400, I'm then looking at 450, obviously followed by 500 flat. I would expect a large reaction at 500 flat. So watching if the market can hold above 600, watching if the market and NQ can hold above 400, obviously watching the flow. The Nasdaq doesn't really look like anything too special. The Mag 7 actually kind of looks weak, while the S&P 500 is looking strong, and we just got a flow alert. That's something that you got to kind of note. We just got a flow alert. So if you're new, you might be thinking, okay, Matt, what's a flow alert? A flow alert is inherently not bullish or bearish. It means a abnormal amount of volume is currently hitting the tape. So it's suggestive of a big player getting involved. That can mean that they're opening a position. It can mean they're closing a position. It could mean they're bullish. It could mean they're bearish. It's more of an alert to say, you got to pay attention because this thing could be reversing. It could be continuing, but you got to pay attention because someone is trading with a statistically abnormal amount of size. And because of that,
order submitted.
Free trade. Second free trade of the day. Will this one work? I have no idea. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. I hope it works. But like I said, because I see that flow alert, we hit the 75 level. I know there might be a weird reaction at 400. I know there might be a weird reaction at 600 flat. Like, you don't know when people might want to continue. They might want to fade it. The Mag 7, it's picking up a little bit. The Nasdaq finally starting to pick up. That flow alert, just to be protective. I don't know where the bars are going. No one knows where the bars are going. I promise you this. I know that there's so many people inundating your social media with dumb fucking things like this model, that model, and they're basically overcomplicating it. And it's kind of like, what's that other saying of, if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, you got to baffle them with bullshit. That is the current state of trading gurus and furus. It's a bunch of people who don't know what they're talking about. So they talk a lot. They speak it very, very quickly. And they try to convolute the whole situation with dumb concepts. And they use that to basically try to hide that they clearly don't know what they're talking about. Whether you want to trade with me here on live or if you want to join the Discord or anything like that, the wizard behind the curtain, whether you are scalp trading, day trading, swing trading, and even investing, it's just risk management. It really, really is. It's a game of taking as many shots as you possibly can with reasonable, controlled risk, and then continuing to minimize that. And then if you have something that does well, great, let it do well. If you have something that does poorly, it's the name of the game is whenever you make a wrong decision, which is going to happen about half the time, you want that to have the least impact on your account possible. That's the real secret to trading. If you read whether it's the autobiographies, the biographies, listen to the podcasts or the breakdowns or just the history of some of the best traders in the world, that is the one thing that they have in common. Yes, maybe the asset changes from equities to futures to bonds to crypto. Maybe they're mean reverting or trend following. Maybe they're doing all of that. Like, yeah, that type of stuff can happen. It can very, very clearly happen. But the one through point that they're all going to have in common is just they are the best at risk management. To become the best trader, you're not really trading. You're just the best risk manager. That's all you have to do. So for me, stops at break even. Do I want it to get hit? No. Does it make me feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside when I get stopped out for break even? No, it does not. But you know what's better? It's better than the fact of getting stopped out for red. I'd rather just be like, that one didn't work, than, that one didn't work and it cost me money. You can, think about this mathematically. This is going to blow your mind. You can take an infinite amount of stop even trades. You can. Your account's not going to get hurt and there's no pattern day trading. So if you want to be as risk conscious as possible, which I'm not saying is mathematically the right thing, because sometimes you get your stop to break even too early and just the random noise of the market knocks you out. That's obviously possible. But just like run with me in this like hypothetical here. You can sit here all day doing this stuff, folks. You can have 9 break-even trades in a trading session. And if your 10th one is the one that goes and you make your money, good. You protected your accounts throughout the day. You got the winner and you're done for the day. You did your job and you moved on. The 10 a.m. reversal is real. It happens often. This time it was driven by news. Like there was ISM data drop at 10 a.m. that caused that. And it knocked me out for break even. So whether you want to call it lucky or unlucky, I think it was skillful to get out just in case we vomited. Of course, if I didn't, I'd be up more money because I was in at 20 instead of 30. So I got a 10-point worse off fill, which is a bummer, but sometimes you could get a 10 or a better fill to the tune of 10 points. So it cuts both ways. I think the human psychology in trading, it's really, really easy to focus on like all those moments where you're like, shucks, the market was out to get me, and not realize that the random karma and or luck of trading, it's going to be 50-50. Half the time you're going to get lucky and it's going to benefit you. The other half of the time, it's going to be a bad break that screws you up. So you have to prepare as if every single trade is that bad break that screws you up. And then maybe you're just in the lucky 50% of the time that it actually goes for you. And for me, and I'm not saying that you guys have to mirror this. Maybe you have your own trading system that works better. I just like to share what I do, where I found my success in trading, especially in this world of sim to funded trading. The most success I have ever found is when I am just as like paranoid obsessed with my risk management as I possibly can be. Like, that's it. How is Apex going? I'm still just waiting. I'm waiting for their response. I'm told that they're still doing the KYC, AML, and reviewing my trades. Yemen Armed Forces say an important announcement will be made at 10:40 a.m. ET. Well, hopefully that announcement causes the market to go up or down, but once again, does not really matter too much to me because I already protected myself. The worst case scenario for me is still green on the day. That is the worst case scenario for me. What are we at? We have some distance to go. Well, hopefully we break out of 450. Like I said, my stop's at break even. Very quickly, here's a look at options flow. SPY hit a new high. See how the flow alert, there was the dip, but fortunately it did recover. NASDAQ, it's starting to climb. Okay, and we're also starting to climb. I feel good about this one. I mean, once again, this random announcement from Yemen could screw me up, or maybe it could help me. Trump is speaking at 1. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's a game of fishing. If you are tuning in here thinking I'm going to fucking yammer on about all these different models and SMTs and fair value gaps and inverted fair value gaps and this trend line and that trend line, I'm just not your guy. I get it. Maybe that's something that fucking knocks your socks off, but I'm just not the dude for you. I would rather do the stuff that actually makes me money rather than some hyper complicated sounding bullshit to get you to sign up for some sort of service or Discord. I'm in this game to make money. I'm not in this game to, I guess, develop some sort of like weird social media clout because I learned weird acronyms that actually have no mathematical backing in the market. So if you want that, whatever, not for me. But if you're a little bit more interested in actual trading backed by actual math, that's what we're here for. And I'm more than happy to answer questions on that, but I'm already kind of telling you the big secret of the whole thing. The big secret is risk management. That is the big secret. Here, let's go to the 5 minute. Oil is coming down, so that's probably a bit bullish. Bitcoin's going up. How's vol doing? Is vol falling off? Vol is falling off. Okay. 5 minute bulls are in control. Same with 10, 30, and 4 hour. On the Nasdaq, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour. Bulls are in control. In the short term right now, bulls are in control. I can tell you for today, it is call dominated. For the week, it is call dominated. For the full chain, it is actually still, it's neutral right now. It depends on the time of the day you look at it. Sometimes it is actually showing put dominated. But I think after today, you're breaking above 600. Your next target is 30, 6630. Right here, you have a bit of a call credit spread. Yeah, here's a call credit spread, and then there's another giant call credit spread up at 6670. So that would probably be like a pretty sizable reach target on the day. By no means would that be my base case. If it were to happen, I think that would be awesome. I think that would be really, really cool. 6670, but first, we're trying to get above this call credit spread. You see this structure, sold calls, purchase calls. That's a call credit spread to the tune of about 3.5 thousand. There's a much larger one up here of 7,000 at 6670 with the protection at 6675. So like I said, that would be like your reach target on the day. In the meantime, 6630 is probably a pretty solid target. I already have it marked out. It is a kind of a noteworthy positive gamma node right there. And then from there, maybe people react to 50 just because it's 50. But what I would personally be watching is the 6670. 6670. 5580. Interesting. Well, let's hope if we are on that pathway that it doesn't dip too hard, because I'm looking at the 50% and I'm looking at the tomato VWAP. The flying tomato VWAP. Did you hear about the Supreme Court ruling income tax unconstitutional? Nope, not at all. That sounds like, I believe you that there's maybe something going on there, but I think your interpretation of what it is just not right. I'm interested in your trend line trading. That's why I'm here. Well, I can point you to a $6,500 course that teaches you how to connect the highs and the lows, if that's something you're interested in. What are your overall thoughts on the Netflix chart? I think it's very cheap from a longer term perspective. I don't really actively trade it, but I did add some to my long-term investment portfolio just because it's down such a percentage, and I don't see Netflix going anywhere. I know that once in a while it gets itself embroiled in a come on, just bounce from here. I need it to bounce like right here, or this is going to be my second knockout on the day, which, hey, it happens. I know that it gets itself embroiled in political backlash every so often, but you know what? I don't see anyone deleting their accounts. And you might be saying, but I did, and my friend did, and my uncle did. Yeah, but then when we get to quarterly earnings from Netflix, guess what? On net, people are still buying Netflix accounts. So as much as people want to have political grandstanding about the whole Netflix, should you be with them, should you not? I'm not going to let my own political bias get in the way of what I perceive to be a good money-making opportunity. It's a growing company. The subs are going up. I don't like on net. People are not deleting their accounts. So I just added it to my long-term account. And if I could ride it for 10, 20, 30%, cool. I'll do that. I'll lock in the gains and I'll move on with my life. But more important than that, well, at least in the short term, I do need this to keep going right here. I am long at 32.75. My stop's at break even. I am risking nothing. Stop is at break even. I'm looking for this breakout above 400, and then I'm very much watching 450. major level 1, major level 2, which just happens to effectively align with 6,600. That was a big breakout. Then we need a breakout of the intraday high, and then 6,630 is this giant positive gamma region. Really, it's from 25 to 40 that I want to see us test that. But the spot gamma implied one-day move high, it is right here at like 26. So we might want to be watching that one. But I do want to clarify, I've taken all risk off the table, which is like the most important thing of the analysis that I have going on right now. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. I have enough patience to sit here and give it time to work, but it is a lot easier to have patience when the worst case scenario is just nothing. The worst case scenario is I'm slightly green on the day. Cool. I could easily do that. Do you plan on adding Nike to your long-term? No, because Nike has like legitimate business issues right now, especially of like their production, the popularity of the product. No, I don't plan on adding it. I want to see them swing back around. Like I guess I myself like enjoy some of Nike's products, but the popularity is falling. And right now they're faced with a lot of manufacturing issues. And this is all because of the whole Trump tariff thing. It's just right now it's very questionable in my mind. And also, even if it wasn't, the apparel business is boring as fuck. Like we're like right now living in this like day and age of AI and data centers and crypto. Apparel is boring as shit, dude. So I just, even if things were all hunky dory from the tariff situation, it would still just be like a low quality option given the universe of investable assets. Like it's just not a quality option, in my opinion. You might like it, and maybe you have a different thesis that you're like, no, I think it's actually going to 5x because of whatever. I don't see that, but just because I don't see it doesn't mean that you might be 100% right. But right now, in April of 2026, I'm a lot more fascinated with commodities and anything related upstream or downstream to the world of AI. Where do you add to the position? I have no idea what you're talking about. I need more information from you on that one. I'm still looking at 400. This is taking forever, but whatever. My stop's at break even. It's going to be what it's going to be. But hopefully this is my final trade of the day. I mean, I guess I could cut it off here for $1,000. I'm up 15K. I'd like to go up 45K. I would really like to make $3,000 per account. Dude, my FFN accounts are fucking murdering. I don't think you guys are patting me on the back enough to realize how much I am just destroying on these FFN accounts. This is how I was doing on the Lucid accounts until they decided to move me to live because I was doing too well. I wish I could say that about Tradeify and Take Profit, but for whatever reason, I just always fuck those accounts up. I don't know if it's like me actually well, of course it's me trading poorly, but I don't know why I have such a mental block about those accounts. And I've never been in this situation before where I have a different mentality based on the firm that I'm trading. I've noticed that I keep losing on TPT and Tradeify, which then gets in my head, and then I keep doing worse there. But then in my head, I'm destroying on Lucid and FFN, so whenever I trade there, I seemingly do really well, which is a crazy thing to say when you're copy trading. How can you possibly be overconfident and crushing it in some accounts and then underconfident and like getting crushed yourself in other accounts when you're a copy trader? I was thinking about that over the weekend, and I was like, this is the most illogical thing ever, that I'm a copy trader who is somehow performing differently across the board. And I get it. Sometimes you have buffer and other ones don't have buffer, and that's how you could blow out. That's what happened to me on Wednesday or Thursday of last week. Was I lost some accounts even though I was copy trading with the FFNs because the FFNs had more buffer. So even though it was the exact same trades, that's like I get the math of how it could happen, but it's still frustrating, like nonetheless. Difference in the rules? Yeah, all of them have a slight difference in rules. For example, on TPT, it's when you go to pro, you then have unrealized drawdown, which is harder than the eval. So yeah, okay, that's true. But the biggest difference is the amount of buffer. Like, it is easier to trade better and make more money the more buffer you have. It sounds kind of crazy, but literally trading becomes easier the better at trading you've already been. The more buffer you have, the better at trading you can actually then be, because you can start playing with more contracts. You can start hedging in unique ways. You can buy at key levels. You can scale in, you can scale out. Like, there's so many more things you can do with more buffer. So even though I was copy trading these accounts, which ended up making, I don't know, like $2,000 on Thursday, I actually lost other evals during it because the other evals didn't have the buffer to withstand the way I was trading on these accounts, which that's a tactical error. Maybe I should copy trade them separately, like trade them all as chunks, like trade all of FFN together, trade all of TPT together, trade all of Tradeify. Maybe I should chunk it out. That's like a fair argument, or it's at least a fair thing to consider. But I don't know. Food for thought. I'm not feeling the best about this right now. It is having a real tough time getting above 400, but it is at least getting protected at 50. All right, I'm moving my up a little bit just so if there's slippage, hopefully I can still end green on it. That's more of a psychological win than anything else. Check options flow. I think you mean check options flow, please. It's just going flat, not really trending up or down. Mag 7's actually going. Nasdaq. So Nasdaq's going down. Mag 7's going up. And the S&P 500 is going sideways. So it's a bunch of nothingness. The market doesn't know which way it wants to go right now. VIX is coming down, which should be good for the bulls, theoretically. Bitcoin's trying to trend up. Oil was trending down, but maybe it caught itself at like 110.50. The SPY is right above the high from yesterday. So are the Qs, but we're not at the intraday high. 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes bullish, 30 minutes bullish, 4 hours bullish, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hours all bullish. We are above 6,600. It might want to do one of these weird things, and this would be unfortunate because it would knock me out. It might want to retest 6,600 just because like buyers are probably going to be sitting there, and then it creates a higher low relative to the low that we saw at 10:06, and then we bounce from there. That's totally possible, and it would still be a bullish structure because you would still have higher highs and higher lows. If, oh, fuck, coffee everywhere. Stop, no, fuck, shit. Oh, it's everywhere. Why am I like this? Why do I put the coffee in front of my hands and I speak like I'm Italian? Oh, on the day of my daughter's wedding. No, it's everywhere. Oh, fuck. No, ew. Well, that's not what we wanted to see. I really wanted that whole cup of coffee too. I spilled like half of it on my keyboard. Fuck. Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. It's everywhere, folks. You would not believe it. And as this is happening, there's my luck. I'm about to get knocked again for the second time today. All right. Well, when you start getting knocked out for break even, at least for me, I'm trying to remind myself to not go nutty and spiral and start chasing it, because sometimes getting knocked out for break even is the name of the game. And you just have to accept it. You just have to accept it. All right. Come on. May the market gods help me. Let's zoom in here. Oh, dude, it's getting real close. All right, so the regular trading hours VWAP right here is 43. The IB is 48. So this is an area of support. Like, it wouldn't be the most insane thing to bounce out of here. People are, and also 50 is the point of control. So you have the point of control, you have to have the 50% IB, and you have regular trading hours VWAP, New York VWAP. So not the most insane thing that buyers step in here. Now, will they? I need them to step in quick to not get stopped out, but we'll find out. you know, if it happens, it happens. I want it to bounce out of here. I would love for it to rip up and like hold at 400, because at least that would put me 65 points in the money. And then I'd rather be sitting here saying what's going to happen when I'm up over $1,000 rather than just like barely green on the day. But hey, I guess it's better than being very red on the day. So looking for buyers to step in here. If not, it's going to knock me out. My stop is 2 points in the money. So at least I'll be up.
Order filled.
What the fuck was that? Well, this game isn't fun. What is going on right now, people? Hang on. Did Trump say something? No, I'm not seeing anything from Trump. Who's seeing news? Something just had to get announced. I just got knocked out for break even, so still green on the day. I do not see anything on True Social. What about? I'm looking for any breaking news. Iran. Oh, right here. Iran's reply consists of 10 clauses. Okay, so Iran just responded with theirs. Response demands encompassing an end to the conflicts in the region and a protocol for a safe passage through the strait. Okay, so that little craziness in the market was because Iran responded with their, I guess, list of, hey, here's what we need to see happen. Iran conveys reply to proposal on war end to Pakistan. No ceasefire. Okay, so the market, that's what it reacted to. So am I happy at my stop at break even? Yeah, because you never know when breaking news is going to end up breaking. So you got to protect yourself. Now, if you were short, you got lucky and it sent it in your favor. And congrats to you. When it comes to the world of trading, is it better to be skillful or lucky? Yeah, definitely pick skillful. But on days like this and situations like this, it's all about risk management. It really, really, truly is. All right. We're marking out the major structure of the day, which happens to be consolidation. Lower highs, higher lows. When you have lower highs and when you have lower lows, that means the bulls are not in control. The bears are not in control. It's literally consolidation. So basically just trying to wait and see which way this is all going to be going. You guys did vote bullish, by the way. I don't think I ended this poll, but 60% of you in here think it's actually going to be a bullish day. Think it's going to be a bullish day. So we did overshoot the 6,600. So now I'm looking to see if it can recapture it. A little bit of a news update there, though. Iran responding. Kind of about. Here's a look at flow. Here's the Mag 7. It did take a hit, but now things are already recovering. S&P 500, same thing. It took a hit, but it's already recovering. We're already back above 600. That is a higher low. All right, here's, we had the structure on the NASDAQ. There's same thing on the S&P 500. Lower highs, higher lows right now. By definition, consolidation. I do like it above 6,600. This is not the easiest one. It did bounce quickly. NASDAQ took a hit, but Mag 7 really didn't, and S&P 500 didn't really either. Oh, more trades are hitting the tape. Are we getting another update here? Iran's news agency says petrochemical complex at Iran. Okay, that was an hour ago. That's not the more financial juice. Yemen's Houthis, we carried out an attack against Israel on Monday. Iran demands also include reconstruction and lifting sanction. Iran demands a permanent end of the war in reply to U.S. Iran rejects a ceasefire in reply to the U.S. via Pakistan. So this hit the tape first, and that's why we kind of went down, permanent end. But the market's not still trending down. It stopped. It definitely started to chill.
It started to chill. Just enough news to bone my lungs. Yeah, that's how it goes. This is why I was even saying this in the Discord, and I was kind of saying it to you folks this morning. Of my major goal of the day is just risk protection, because you never know if there's going to be a breaking piece of news that goes in your favor. That's awesome. You can't count on it, but you do have to be prepared for a piece of breaking news that might torpedo you. So I've been trying to take a couple stabs at it. I've gone fishing. I paid for my bait, but overall, we're keeping our head above water. We're going to see. VWAP is right here at 75. Quick question for all of you. For all my VWAP traders, if we hit 276, which is currently VWAP, are you guys going to go there? Are you going to buy? Are you going to short? Or are you not going to play it? Do we have any people prepped up to be buying at VWAP? I don't know if I am. It's an idea that I'm thinking about. Obviously, I'm thinking about it. Why is my VWAP to completely... Oh, hang on. Data series. This can't be right. Where the fuck is VWAP? Okay, VWAP is 76. I don't know what the fuck is going on there. Yeah, okay, VWAP. This is the correct VWAP. I'm just double checking it across a couple services. I saw one that was showing 310, which is inaccurate. Under VWAP equals short. Why? I saw that people use that as like a trend identifier. I don't think the math really backs that up. I think sometimes if you're beneath VWAP, a long back into VWAP is actually a very good play, and vice versa. I think sometimes when you're above VWAP, a short down into VWAP is a good play. I know there are people who trade with that. They're like, oh, I only want to be long above VWAP. I only want to be short below it. And I can understand it kind of, but you're missing out on a whole entire suite of pretty quality trading systems. Like pretty quality trading systems. But hey, if it works for you, like if you have a net profitable system, don't let me get in the way. There's millions and millions of profitable trading systems in the universe of trading. The tough one is finding one and having the discipline to stick to it. But for me personally, I am not a person who only goes long above VWAP or only goes short. And that's just because there's too many good mean reverting setups where you're playing it into VWAP. I'm new to this. When it starts to go green, say 400 or 500, can you sell right there? Yeah. You could say that though about $100. You could say that about $20. You could say that about $1,000. You could sell wherever you want. Look at AMC. No, there's too much important shit going on that, I mean, if I were already done trading on the day and things were quiet, I would look at it. It's probably at a new all-time low, but I, in all reality, don't give a shit about it when, like, there's major things happening in the market right now. So to spend any of our time, like, away from these screens to be looking at just a trash company with a trash support base and a trash leadership team, like, what's the point? It's going towards bankruptcy. I don't know when, but AMC is speed running a move towards bankruptcy. I've said it many times before. I've been saying it since 2022, 2023, and now I'm still saying it in 2026. Eventually, the bondholders will own that company. It's fine. It's really basic math to look at how much money they're making and their debt covenants, and you realize that, oh, they're not going to be able to service their debt eventually. And it sucks. I mean, I'm not against movie theaters. I like movie theaters. I think going to watching movies, and I know not really shows, but I always have a great time at the movie theater. So it's not like I want this to happen, but this is what's going to happen when you have such a scumbag CEO and entire leadership team. Good point. We should look at Mullen.
They sell popcorn, Matt. That they do. Whoa there, Scooter. Piper, I've had 2 break-even trades today. The market gods are not shining upon me. The market gods are not shining upon me. At least not yet. You liked it at 40. Yeah, and it squeezed to 72. This idea of, this is what happens when people who barely know about investing try to speak about trading. AMC was never an investment. And if you ever thought it was an investment, you don't know how to read fundamental reports. Investing is for fundamental analysis, and any fundamental analysis would tell you that you're a crazy person to invest in AMC. But as a trader, you would have understood the concept of risk and reward and the ability of it going up, and then the trade played out and it was over, and then you move on with your life. That was one of the biggest downfalls of, I guess, the AMC trade and the AMC community. Well, the trade worked. Actually, it worked very, very well to both the upside and to the downside. You could have fairly played it in either direction, obviously, if you timed it properly. But right there, even that comment, well, you liked it at 40? Yeah, I liked it there for the trade, and it went to 72. From that point, that's still a 75% return, which is what? 7x how much the S&P 500 returns in a given year. It was still a great trade, but that doesn't mean that you get back into it when the trade is over, because new things develop. The short interest changes, the hype cycle changes, the FOMO changes, like new information comes to light, and it might not be a good trade anymore. And that's what people in the AMC and GameStop community never seem to really fully appreciate, is that the situation is dynamic, and based on new information, you have to update what your trade idea is, what your investment idea is. And people didn't. They saw it once and they're like, dark pools. And then from there on out, they're still like holding the position. That's not a smart way to handle this whatsoever. It's hard to read fundamental analysis by itself. Fundamentally, OpenAI is looking to be a trash company, but since technology is developing, you don't know where the future holds. Fundamental analysis is actually one of the easiest things you could possibly do. Like, there's really not much to it. You could take a crash course in the, if you studied fundamental analysis for like a week straight and did nothing else in your life, you'd pretty much be at the level of like the highest tier fundamental. Like, fundamental analysis is not difficult. Have you kept up with GME at all? Nope, they're stupid. But I do give GME quite a higher chance of success than AMC, because GME theoretically, its core business now, that's dumb, it's over. But with that being said, if it does switch into like a Berkshire Hathaway investment vehicle for Ryan Cohen, well, there's potential there. If he trades well, yeah, you could have crazy stuff happening. So I give it a much, much higher chance of potential success than AMC. Like, if I had to have one of those, I would pick GameStop 10 out of 10 times relative to AMC, because nothing AMC is doing is telling me that it has like future potential. At least GameStop has like a silver lining, like there's a small chance of legitimate potential. AMC is nothing but dark, stormy clouds. But I'm watching VWAP here. I am watching VWAP. I am watching it. Mag 7 did take a hit. SPY is actually taking a hit now. It is below 600, but it's like right at that trend line.
Order filled. Order submitted.
All right, I had to rush that one because remember my very, very first trade of the day where I was like, oh, I wish I got the fill below, just because in the event that it goes in my favor and then retest, I might be protected. Well, in this situation, that is 300. So I quickly wanted to get, like, I saw it going up and I just didn't want to get the random fill at like 301, 302. I specifically wanted it below 300. I'm risking a recent low. Yeah. And it's a little bit, this is not the right VWAP. Why is the 1 minute VWAP wrong? But then this VWAP is right. All right, I have to leave up this screen because the 1 minute VWAP is wrong. Just so you know, VWAP, this is it. It is 278. So I saw the VWAP bounce. Yeah, I could have been ballsy and bought it there, and I would have had a 20-point better fill. It would have been lower accuracy, but it would have also been lower risk. So, But once again, if this gets going, it gets going. I'm fighting momentum a little bit. The 1 minute is red. The 5 minute is attempting to save itself. The 10 minute did bounce, which is kind of why I like this trade. But I'm just not giving it that much room. Honestly, I might move this up to 87 and only risk 10 points. I'm going to give it a second. I'm looking at this low right here, 87. I know it's above VWAP, but I really like this idea of only risking 10 points. 10 points is only $200. That's basically a scratch trade in the world of NQ. Obviously, there is a sentiment to like, but what if it wants to touch VWAP? Like, what if it just wants to touch that one more time and then go, which is why my risk is just below it. 73. Do I want to use this? That saves me a little bit of money. I'm just trying to be reasonable of how much risk can I really cut off. The point of control is 300 and we just got rejected there. That's unfortunate for me. If we recapture 300, I could move my risk up to 81. That's not the craziest idea. That's not bad. That's about a 16-point risk. That's about $300. That's pretty good. Iran rejects ceasefire. My bias is now bearish. You're already late. That already got announced. That's already been priced in. It's actually impressive how quickly big announcements like that are already priced in. If that was announced at what time? I mean, I can tell you exactly. It was at 10:39. If you're now trading off of that news, you're actually already almost 20 minutes late. All right. That was a pretty rough double top right there. Like a pretty swift rejection shit. Like it got right up to that level and then someone with size dumped a market order there. Shoot. All right. I'm just watching this. Like I said, I'm trying to give it a reasonable chance, but unlike last week, last week, I wasn't putting the stop in, and even when it hit my mental stop, I found another reason to keep letting it go, and it just, the losses ballooned, and then by the time I got my head out of my ass, I had to trade with more size than I wanted, and granted, I got lucky and it went in my way. I'm just trying to not do that. I'm legitimately trying to like really every single day review my trading and tell myself, okay, like, are you doing a smart thing or a dumb thing? All right, hold 300. This is why I got the fill at 97, because if we can hold this $100 rung, nice shot up to 36, which for me would be a 40-point trade, $800. So like that's why I wanted the fill. Like if I'm bullish, I want it just below 300. If I'm bearish, I'd want it above 300. I want to play on the favorable side of these key levels. Come on. Okay, so VWAP, session VWAP is 278. New York VWAP is 336. 50% retracement is 49. Let's see. Let's see if the third one is lucky. This is my third trade of the day. First one, break even. Second one, break even. When I say break even, I got a little lucky with slippage, which is why my realized gain is $50. All right, 500 tick is trying to break out. What I potentially care about the most is SPX right here. Is SPX actually going to hold 6,600? Very important technical level, psychological level, and gamma level. In fact, it is the largest gamma level of the day. Speaking of which, if you want this information, check out Spot Gamma. They are doing a free educational webinar this Thursday, April the 9th, 1 p.m., pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. My mod will put it in chat. Just name, email. Once again, it is free. So that's the tool suite that I use. It's this options flow. It's this leveling. I think it's awesome. I think all traders should use it. Once again, this is a free webinar this Thursday, April the 9th, 1 p.m. Check that out. And then also, hang on. I need to watch one of these accounts. Lucid, I opened my crate earlier today. I guess rewind. Oh, gotta log back in. Shout out to Lucid. I'm about to move to live with them, ideally this week. They're just processing my personal information, like whatever, my ID and that type of stuff. So shout out to Lucid, but right now, they're actually definitely proving themselves to be a top tier firm. If you want to take advantage of it, they are redoing this Volt Reloaded. So use code Goonie, Goonie, Goonie. You're going to get up to 5 accounts, 40% off. Very, very solid deal. Like I said, I'm with them. Last month, I got $51,000 in payouts from Lucid. And I'm not just saying like, oh, like I traded that well. No, like literally to my account, I already did. I requested it. It got approved within minutes. And then I got the 80% split of that. So I think it was like 40 something thousand, but that was all last month. I think the rule set is reasonable. I think given the space, it's something that should at least be considered. And like I said, if you want to take advantage of the deal on Lucid Trading, code Goonie, Goonie, 40% up to 5 per trader. And on top of that, they're kind of doing cool new releases with those cases. And hopefully you guys can win some cases. Someone said Trump is speaking right now. Where is he speaking? I thought he was speaking at 1 p.m. All right, a little bit of a band thing going on. So this is just the Easter egg roll. I don't know if he's going to be popping off about Iran in front of these kids, but maybe. Potentially. He's done crazier things. I guess we'll give it a second, but I believe he is scheduled to actually speak about Iran at 1 p.m., so in 2 hours. I don't think he's going to be doing it at the White House Easter egg roll. Those are future voters. He'll pop off. Maybe. That's why I'm going to give it a second. All right, I'm moving into a free trade. So this is my third free trade of the day. The first two stopped out for break even, technically slightly green. This is my third one. Maybe this is going to be it. Maybe not. I don't know. We're going to find out. But regardless, it is of zero risk to me. So third break even trade of the day. And I would love to ride this bad mamma jamma up to 450. That would be a 150 point gain, which is about 3K per account across my 15 accounts. If we make a full trip all the way back up, that's how your boy makes about 45K today. 30K would be funded. 15K would be on evals, but 45K worth of trading regardless. So I'm long at 297. My stop's already at break even. Like I said, I'm protected by 300. We did get another tap of this trend line, so I like that. We're getting above these EMAs. I just need this breakout at 36 and actually 50. This 14 point region and the trend line I do find concerning. It's just a point of resistance. Whether we break or we don't, it's a 50-50 chance. I'm watching VWAP. I'm watching this trend line. I'm watching the 50% IB. Are you thinking about putting a target line there? I guess if we get close, but I mean, I'm literally here watching every bar with you guys. I'm not going to like randomly miss it at 450. If anything, when we get closer, I'll move my stop up. I would love my stop to be closer to like 340, guaranteeing myself like, I mean, I would love to get it at least 50 points in the money where every account's at least 1,000. But as we get close, like what's the point of putting it in there now? If anything, it just kind of messes up my charts. It's one thing if we're in like within 20 or 30 points, you could be like, but Matt, what if about on an announcement, you might get a lucky fill? Yeah, that's why I would do it if we're within like 20 to 30 points. But we're 125 away. And once again, it's not your profit targets that are going to like make or break you. It's your stops. It is your risk. That's what makes or breaks a trader. It really, really is. It's your risk management. It's not even necessarily your profit taking. The name of the game is, if you are right, ride it as long as you reasonably can. If you are wrong, get out and admit it as early as you reasonably can. And here's my third break-even trade on the day. Oh, it didn't hit it. It got really close. It's coming for me. Wow. It got really close. I think this one's going to hit me, but we'll see. Once again, my stop's at break even. Get away. Hold 300. Hold 300. Hold 300. Come on, brother. Come on, brother. Knowing my luck, it's going to wick down to 97 by a tick and then explode. Come on, dude. Come on, brother. Come on.
Order filled.
Well, that just gave me a worse fill. It filled me at 96. It filled me a whole point less. Yeah. I really don't mind that one. That was kind of a risky trade because like the whole we might get rejected here type of a deal. And it looks like that's potentially what happened. It ran right up to 36, got smacked. And I had to get out there because what if it wants to come down to 78? Well, that's kind of it. Just so you guys know, Trump is speaking at 1 p.m. I might stream that if it seems as if he's going to be on time. If Trump's going to be on time, I might do it, but sometimes he's like a whole hour late, and that's just like a frustrating thing, especially considering what else I have to do today. So make sure your notifications are on. Make sure whether you're watching on Rumble or YouTube, turn your notifications on because we might be doing some extra streams today. It's just really dependent on if he's actually starting on time or not. So just wanted to make everyone aware of that. Trump later today, who knows what's going to happen beyond that. We could get random announcements at any time. So please, please, please be prepared. Please be prepared. Shout out to Lucid. Use that code Goonie. You can get up to 5 accounts, 40% off. Once again, code Lucid. And then if you want to go to that free webinar this Thursday, that's also in the description of the video. Just need your name and email and it'll save your spot. But once again, that is 100% free. That's what I have for you right now. Might be streaming later today, depending on if Trump's actually rocking with that. Other than that, I'm going to go to the Goonie Trading Discord. If you want to trade with me, once again, the Goonie Trading Discord is the place to take advantage of all of that. Not the best day for me, but I'm still going to chop it. Any day I'm not losing money, to me, is a winning day. So even though I had 3 break-even trades, I'm actually really happy about my risk management, and it kept me green on the day, kept me break-even on the day. So I'm happy with that because days like this, it's so easy to just spiral and like lose all your gains. So any day I'm not taking some sort of massive hit is a big win for me. So there's still time left in the day. Maybe I see an opportunity here or there, or maybe I just end the day at break even, and that's okay too. Not every single day is going to be a phenomenal setup. I really wish right there we had that recovery back to 450. I guess it just was not in the cards. Anyway, that's what I have for you. If you enjoyed the show on your way out, don't forget to hit that like button. Definitely don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications. I'll catch you guys in the Discord. Maybe I'll catch you in the stream later on. Other than that, I hope you guys annihilate it. I hope you guys do better than me. I hope you make a buttload of money. And I'll catch you guys on the flippity flip. Peace.